So today we're going to be talking about the nervous system and all of the components and organisms in it. So what is the nervous system? The nervous system is a collection of nerves and cells, which are known as neurons, that transmit signals throughout the body. There are two parts. There's a central nervous system and the peripheral system. The central system is made up of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. The peripheral system contains sensory neurons, ganglia, and nerves which connect to one another. Neurons send signals to one another with fibers. The fibers start out at the brain and branch out to other parts of the body. The entire thing lasts even less than a millisecond. The brain receives the signals, which then control the body's movement. For example, when you jerk your hand away from a hot stove. So now let's talk about the organisms and how they pertain to the nervous system. First, we dissected the earthworm. The earthworm was originally indigenous to Europe, but was moved to the US and Central Asia. The earthworm's habitat is anywhere where there is rich, fertile, and wet soil. They come out whenever it rains, which is why you would typically see an earthworm on a rainy day. Epigeic earthworms are surface dwellers. They live at or near the soil surface, and then they feed on leaf litter, decaying plant roots, or dung. Endogeic earthworms are topsoil dwellers. Their niche is at the top 20 centimeters depth of soil. They eat large amounts of soil and organic matter, although some species come to the surface to search for food. Anisic earthworms are subsoil dwellers. They collect the food from the soil surface, and then they ingest the matter from the soil. Their diet comes from things in soil, such as decaying roots and leaves. They eat living organisms such as nematodes, protozoans, rotifers, bacteria, and fungi in the soil. Small lizards, salamanders, and toads eat worms. Earthworms, they don't need legs or arms. Instead, they have a long body with rings which help them move through the soil. The nervous system goes throughout the whole body, resulting in easier movement through soil. Next, we dissected the crayfish. The crayfish's habitat includes shallow freshwater regions. Some have even adapted to living in tropical regions. One species is found in Madagascar. Currently, there aren't any species of crayfish living in Africa or the subcontinent of India. They hide behind rocks, logs, sand, mud, and vegetation and water. Most species live in open water areas. The crayfish's niche is that it's an omnivore scavenger that likes to eat aquatic plants and small invertebrates. For example, insects, and is eaten by many other animals like raccoons and bass. They consume both plant and animal materials, and it will, depending on season, consume a variety of types of foods. Almost all aquatic plants, insect larvae, mature insects, tadpoles, amphibian eggs, and small fish are common foods. Also taken up opportunistically are small rodents and even small birds. The crayfish's nervous system runs throughout the whole body, kind of like the earthworm, resulting in quick reactions at any area of the body. The tail gives fast reaction speed and walking speed on the water floor. Its quick reaction speed gives it the ability to run from predators and to catch food easier. Next, we have the frog. The frog's habitat is on every single continent except Antarctica. Frogs live near fresh water. They grow up in the water and then move to land once they develop feet and legs. Some frogs, like the tree frogs, live in trees instead of water and land. They lay their eggs in freshwater environments. They control the insect population, and they are food for many larger animals. Some animals that eat frogs include snakes, lizards, birds, and various small animals. Frogs have eyes that will help them digest their food. When they eat, their eyes sink through the opening of their skull in order to force the food to go down their throat. This is one of the reasons why it seems as if frogs are constantly blinking while they are eating. They feed on insects, snails, spiders, and worms. Some fish have also been known to be a part of frogs' diet. Frogs are cold-blooded, meaning that their body temperatures change when the environment does. The color of their skin can change with their surroundings. They sense the movement through water from a sensitive area on their backs. On their heads, the frog's eyes and nostrils are positioned highly to keep them out of water when they swim. Next, we're going to discuss protists. First, we have the euglena. The euglena is found in most freshwater environments around the world. It's found in freshwater lakes and soil. It's both heterotrophic and autotrophic, meaning it can eat other organisms and it can make its own nutrients. The nervous system goes throughout the whole body, which allows it to go really fast. The euglena is a photosynthetic organism, meaning its chloroplast will be in a process called photosynthesis to make energy from the sun's light. It also gets its food using photosynthesis. The volvox. The volvox is found in puddles, ditches, shallow ponds, and bogs. They live in colonies of 50,000, so the food won't be scarce. They provide food for other heterotrophs. It also makes oxygen, organic nutrients, and molecules for other organisms. It has two small like hair structures that will help it move rapidly. The amoeba. The amoeba lives in relatively clean ponds. It's found in food web ecosystems with many plants and algae. Amoebas ingest other organisms by surrounding and engulfing them. Amoebas are preyed upon by small fish and crustaceans, such as tiny shrimp. They regulate the water content of the cell, and they protect their bodies with sand grains. They have a hardened shell around them, which will help them to stretch out their pseudopods. When food is scarce, they will roll into a ball. Next, we have the paramecium. The paramecium is commonly found in freshwater ponds, pools, ditches, streams, lakes, and rivers. The paramecium is abundant in ponds with excess decaying matter, organic infusions, and sewage water. Paramecium can also live in animal bodies, on plants, or in moist soil. They eat amoeba, green algae, and bacteria. They are prey for fleas and mussels. Paramecium form relationships with green algae that are the essential link. They are the essential link in aquatic ecosystems. They also have small hair-like structures on their outer edge, which are used for motion. The stentor. The stentor lives in stagnant freshwater environments. They avoid moving water like streams or rivers and are mostly found in ponds and lakes. They eat bacteria found in dead organic matter. They're capable of eating small multicellular organisms, and they also have a light adaptation, but are sensitive to dark colors. They also form photosynthetic relationships with algae. The hydra is also a freshwater organism. It's carnivorous and feeds on insects, insect larvae, and small crustaceans. They can be gathered during winter months, and they are usually small in size. They fit well in mild light, but avoid strong or less light. Next, we have the planaria. The planaria live in both freshwater and saltwater ponds and rivers. Some species are found under logs, in soil, and plants in humid areas. They prey on segmented worms, leeches, and snails. They play the role as a detrivore organism. The detrivore organisms gain their food energy with the help of decomposing fungi and bacteria. Lastly, we have the Daphnia. Daphnia are a part of a group of animals that can be referred to as water fleas. They're usually found in open water or lakes where dissolved oxygen is plentiful. Daphnia feed on green algae, will be transparent green in color, while those feeding on bacteria will be salmon pink. They feed off particles in the water. Here we have a cladogram of all the organisms. So, yeah. And that is it for our presentation.